Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I was thinking last night about different videos that I could do and about explaining my autism and how it affects me. And I was thinking about a couple of years ago when I had to take an airplane ride by myself and how it affected me, what happened to me. I almost had a meltdown. It was a very difficult experience. This was a period right after I had retired Casey, and Kismet wasn't born yet, and I didn't even know about him, so I was on my own, and I had to deal with it myself, which is what I've had to do my entire life. So what happened was I had to take an airplane flight by myself, and I had been visiting my siblings, and my sister had dropped me off at the airport, and I was going to be flying home, and I had to go through security and get on the plane and all that stuff by myself. And that's not really a big deal for most adults, but for me, it was really hard. So, what happened was I ended up almost having a meltdown. And then when I got on the plane, I decided to write down my experience on my phone. And so I was going through my phone last night, going through my notes on my phone, and found this story. And so I'd like to read that to you guys. Not going to be anything special. It's just something that I wrote down my experience about sensory overload and what it looks like for me. So I hope that this video can teach you guys a little bit about what sensory overload might be for people that you love, or maybe your children, how they may be feeling when they're experiencing sensory overload. So I'd like to read this to you guys, and I've got it on my phone here, so I'll be looking at my phone to read it, but here it goes. I have to take an airplane flight by myself. It shouldn't be that difficult or stressful. I'm almost 26 years old. This was 2 years ago. This was June 22nd, 2017 is when this was. I'm almost 26 years old. I'm an adult. Adults do this stuff all the time, but I'm not a normal adult. I'm autistic. Social situations are tricky and stressful. I have hypersenses called sensory processing disorder. I can hear, see, smell, and even feel things that most people can't or just at much higher levels than a typical person does. Autism makes adulting pretty difficult sometimes. So here I am. I was just dropped off at the curb. I said my I love yous and see you laters to my siblings. I've made a mental checklist. I've been going over it all day in my head so that I know what to expect. Knowing what to expect makes getting through difficult things like this much less stressful. I have to navigate through security, figure out which gate I need to be at, find the person I need to talk to get pre-boarding, then wait until my flight boards, about 20 minutes. I get on the plane, and then I will finally be able to breathe. But each of those steps involves talking to a stranger, something that is stressful and overwhelming for me as an autistic. I make it into the airport and manage to gather the courage to ask someone how to find what gate I need to go to. Step 1 complete. Next, security. I put all my items in the little gray tubs and slide them onto the rollers that will take them through the scanner. I forgot to take off my sweater and cap. I hear them tell me so, and I quickly toss them on top of my other items. I walk through the body scanner and am stopped on the other side. It alerted on my belly area. Are you wearing a belt today? The woman asks. Yes, I am. In my desire to get this over with, I'd forgotten to take off my belt. I had to take it off and hand it to the woman who stopped me. It's too big for her to check by hand, she says, so it'll need to go back through the rollers in its own gray plastic tub. Then she has to pat me down in the area where my belt buckle was, just in case. I don't like being touched by a stranger, especially on my belly, but I have to comply. It was my mistake. She's polite enough. I need to touch this area. Will it hurt if I touch? No, I say quietly. It doesn't cause physical pain, but it does hurt in a way that I can't fully explain. Every little unexpected or unplanned sensory experience adds to my stress. It starts building. But I can handle it for now. I'm an adult. I can do this. After the unexpected mini pat-down, I grab my things and head towards my gate. Another check on my mental checklist. I got this. I find the place I need, and I tell them I need pre-boarding. I love that they don't ask why, mostly because they aren't legally allowed to ask what my disability is, but it's good for me. If I had to explain it, that would have added to my stress. But it went smoothly enough, and I had my pre-board pass. Another item complete. I was almost there. I check my watch. 15 minutes until boarding. I find the seat nearest the door that will take me to the plane, pull out my cell phone, and start playing a mindless game. I need to distract myself so that my brain doesn't have time to focus on how overwhelming things are right now. If I think too much, I will start to panic. I can't do that. I need to be cognitive because I need to get on the plane soon. Boarding time comes and goes. A few minutes after the time we are supposed to board, I get a call from my dad. Mom left home about 10 minutes ago to head to the airport to get me. My flight is about 2 hours long and we live about 2 hours from the airport. But, he says, she left her phone at home by accident, so don't bother trying to text or call her. She'll find you when you get to the airport, but just wanted to let you know she doesn't have her phone. Well, that sucks. Thank you for letting me know. And I hang up. I have absolutely no way to contact my mom to find her on the other side. Great. As soon as I hang up the phone, it buzzes with an alert. My flight has just been delayed by an hour and 15 minutes. Shit. Now my brain starts to go into panic mode. I can't hold it together anymore. My body starts shaking. Breathing gets difficult. Tears well up in my eyes. I can feel it. There's no stopping it. I'm going to have a meltdown. A full-on shutdown where my brain loses control and I can't do anything but sob and rock myself in fetal position. But I can't do that. I'm alone at the airport. I can't do that or everyone will look at me, ask if I'm okay, try to touch my shoulder to comfort me, and all those things will make it worse. I'm alone in the airport and my plane won't board for another 45 minutes. I have to keep it together. I cannot melt down right now. I know how to hold in a meltdown. I've done it many times before. It's the worst thing I do to myself, but I have to sometimes. It's like I'm a bottle of soda. Each experience I have that is even slightly stressful or difficult is a little shake of the bottle. Talking to the woman to find my gate, shake 1. Mini pat down at security, shake 2. Getting my pre-board pass, shake 3. Now each of these little things is just one little shake. And by the time the next shake comes, things that have calmed down a bit in my brain, so the next shake isn't a big deal. But finding out my mom didn't have her phone, then immediately after that, finding out I was stuck for another hour and a half in the airport, that caused the bottle to get several fast and hard shakes, the kind you do when you intend to pull a joke on your friend and spray them with soda. And those shakes also brought back those other few little shakes that seemed insignificant after they had time to settle. Now the bottle is pressurized. Take off the lid and it will blow. This is it. I can feel it. But I can't take off the lid. I know I can't. So I text my sister. Can you call me? I say, tears already welling up in my eyes, because I'm about to have a meltdown right now. She calls me right away. She reminds me to breathe slowly and deeply. In my brain's panic, I had begun to breathe too short and fast. This is a good thing, Linz. The delay is a good thing. Because Mom doesn't have her phone, this will give her plenty of time to figure things out when she gets to the airport. She says it calmly and slowly so my brain can process it. She again reminds me to take deep breaths and relax. Okay, I say, I think I'll be okay. Thank you, I love you. I hang up, close my eyes, and take a few long, deep breaths. I begin to twist the lid off the soda. A few sobs escape, but the pressure begins to slowly escape out the lid without catastrophe as I focus on my deep breathing. Again, I pull up my mindless phone game. At this point, I really need the distraction. But it doesn't work this time. Once the bottle has threatened to blow, held itself together, and depressurized without full meltdown, the sensory issues start to kick in. The visual sensory is what always goes first. Suddenly the lights are too bright. They are hurting my eyes and my brain. I pull out my sunglasses and put them on. They don't fix it, but they make it much more tolerable. With visual stimulation calmed, my ears start to pick up on everything. Every little sound that once was just background noise is now too loud to ignore. There's a kid playing a cell phone game in the next gate over, and that music is repetitive and annoying. People rush by with their suitcases clacking as they roll down behind them. It sounds like a train rolling down the tracks. Someone several seats behind me just opened a bag of chips and began eating them. It's like he's chomping as loudly as he can right next to me. There's a constant bing over the speaker system that is about to drive me to madness. Someone near me is chewing gum, and it sounds like a cow chewing cud. Each sound gets progressively louder and more annoying with each passing second. The woman in the wheelchair right in front of me starts tapping her foot against the metal foot support. This one hurts. I can feel each tap of her foot resonate through my entire body, like the little shock you get after shuffling your feet on the carpet and then touching the doorknob. I can't take it anymore. I pull out my earplugs and put them in. As the tiny foam cylinders expand in my ears and the background noise falls to silence, I can finally breathe and begin to relax. Or so I think. Now, with my vision and hearing calmed, I can suddenly smell someone's perfume. It's so strong that I know I'll be sick to my stomach in mere moments if I can't escape it. Close my eyes. Breathe. I can do this. I'm an adult. My phone rings. It's my mom. I pull out an earplug and answer, breathing a sigh of relief that I won't have to search for her at the airport after my flight. As she was getting gas in her car, she realized she'd forgotten her phone and went home to get it. I told her about the delay and she said to keep her updated. After I hang up, I realize that somehow it's almost time to board my flight. Finally. I did it. I survived. I made it onto the plane and found a window seat. I put my earplugs back in and looked out the window at the plane taxiing into place at the next gate. And now here I sit, flying somewhere over California. I did it. I survived the airport all by myself. I'm an adult, and I did it. I am proud of myself for managing to keep it together and come out all right. A few years ago, the soda would have exploded, and things would have gone much differently. But because I've had so many experiences like this in my life, I've learned to adapt. I've learned to always carry earplugs and sunglasses. I've learned that not making eye contact and using short, simple phrases when talking to a stranger helps greatly reduce the anxiety and stress that causes to my brain. Basically, I've learned how to cope. I am almost 26 years old. I am autistic. I will always be autistic. I will never grow out of it or be cured or even overcome my autism because it is a part of me. It is the way my brain works, and that's okay. I have learned to cope, and I am learning new things every day. I've learned that I am strong and brave, and I can do difficult things. And because I have learned what I have about myself, I am able to tell you that autism isn't broken. It's not less, it's not a disease, and it doesn't need a cure. It's a beautiful thing. I am proud to be autistic. So that is my story that I wrote on the plane about how I almost had a meltdown at the airport at 26 years old. Again, this was a few years ago. I hope that helps you guys understand a little bit about what sensory processing disorder can be like. Looking back, and in that moment, I wanted so badly to have Casey with me, but I knew that there was a reason she wasn't with me, and it was because she wouldn't have been able to handle that situation herself, so it would have made my anxiety worse. But I know that if I would have had a service dog in that situation, I would not have gotten so pressurized and built up like I did. I would have been able to use the dog to give me the deep pressure therapy, the tactile stimulation that I needed to keep me grounded and keep me calm and keep my mind at ease instead of letting it just build up and build up like it did. So, yeah, that's my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.